We don't get him very often. Love it when we have him. Honest guy, smart guy, been in the NBA for 14 years now. And by the way, he's also a former UCLA Bruin, so he knows that program well. Let's bring in Matt Barnes, won a title with the Warriors 2017. Great to have Matt Barnes in. So it's interesting. I was saying this yesterday. You played football. You were a hell of a football player. And then you played basketball.
Yeah.
And you could have been both. You could have been an NFL player. You were an NBA player. You could have played both. You were white, so that's not many guys. There's a couple NFL guys. Jimmy Graham maybe could have played in the NBA. Not many. Not many NBA guys could play in the NFL.
No, football is my first sport, and I really feel throughout my career you saw more than people thought I was dirty. I was a football player. I was used to tackle. I grew up playing tackle football in the street. Like that's why and I always would run the lane like a receiver, and that's just how I played. I played my whole career that way.
So you were a physical guy, and so you're a tough guy. When I think of you, I think of you're a tough guy. Draymond's a tough guy. And tough guys play with emotion. And I think teams need them. I think Draymond's a valuable guy. I thought you were a valuable guy. The Jordan Bulls, the Showtime Lakers, got to have a guy with a little edge.
Right.
Can't all be living in the nice birds and the mansions in Beverly Hills.
Right.
But did Draymond, according to Steven Jackson, so we're going to play this tape. This is what let's play this tape. You know Steven Jackson. Let's play this tape. Draymond used it at Kevin Durant. Do you agree with him?
This is the first I'm hearing that. It's tough. You know what I mean? It's a tough situation. But to be honest with you, this kind of stuff happens all the time. And I think the fact that it's the Warriors, it's a bigger deal. When you're at the top, they look for any reason to talk and cause dysfunction within your family. But the locker room is very tight. I knew all along that. To me, I think what happened was Draymond's one of the best playmakers in the game. I think Draymond was going to push the ball. He knew he had Clay on the right wing. He knew he had, I think, someone cutting to the basket, someone on the left wing, and KD was trailing. To me, it looked like Draymond was going to attack the middle and either flip it to the left to Clay or just toss it back to KD, but drag everyone in. And a turnover happened. So I think at the end of the day, what happened to me is that Draymond felt bad that he made the turnover. So no one was more mad at anyone than Draymond was mad at himself. And I think that maybe once a guy started talking to him about it, like, yo, you should have passed me the ball, he snapped. That kind of stuff happens. You know what I mean? But like I said, I just think the fact that it's them and it happened in L.A., it was a big deal.
Matt, but it is interesting, though, because, in the NFL, dynasties don't last long, usually because of injuries. Guys get hurt. It's just players get hurt. In the NBA, dynasties don't last long because stars can't get along. Kobe and Shaq, Westbrook, and that could have been a dynasty. Westbrook and KD. It does feel like, I know you were in this locker room, but it does feel like in the last 6 months with Golden State, little tears in the fabric. I mean, you're the top of the world, superstars, all shooters, scorers.
To be honest, I wouldn't say that. I would completely disagree from the standpoint of what made that team so special was there was no egos. And even though there's they've gathered a lot of talented Hall of Fame type players, the one thing is they leave their ego at the door. So like I said, this could be a headbutt, but I see this team using this more as motivation than allowing them to separate. Like KD was probably mad, Draymond was probably mad. Once they cooled down, I knew they would talk. They're real friends off the court. You know what I mean? So I think the fact that, they had the time to cool off, talk, and let's move forward. We're not going to be talking about this in about a week or two. Hopefully not that long.
There are rumors now that Kevin Durant, he's a little bit of a personality. I mean, he was in, and I don't blame him. I'm always for the player. Owners move. Why can't players move? Right. But there is this agitation. He joins San Francisco, Golden State, and everybody's like, well, they won without you. And, you go to Twitter, and they're kind of banging on you. That's a real thing with KD. He's burner accounts. There are certain players, Matt, they hear the noise. They listen to the media.
Right.
Maybe you weren't.
No, I listened to it. But I used to do crazy things. Like I would go on there before games and look for negative comments to fire me up. I think KD, at the end of the day, we're human. You can only ignore so much stuff. And on his level, when at one time he almost had the whole world throwing stones at him, I'm going to fire back, be cussing left and right. The NBA would have been fining me left and right. You know what I mean? Because just people think they can say anything to you. And we're at the end, before Hoopers, we're men. You can't just say, I'm grown. You can't say anything to me, so I'm going to fire back. But at the same time, I think he uses it as he's the most efficient scorer this game has ever seen. You know what I mean? He's going to go down on, on the all-time scoring list when it's all said and done. So I just think he uses his fires. And if he wants to, keep his free agency up in the air, I mean, that's him. It's his life. It's his game. Like his mom said, I think I saw a clip of his mom. He's going to make the best decision for him. I know he loves it in Golden State. He loves all the business stuff he's doing off the court out there. And like I said, that is a real group of friends and family. Like they hang out off the court. People's kids hang out. So it's a real different culture over there. You know what I mean? So like I said, I think this is a big deal because it's the Warriors 1, 2, it happened in L.A., and the fact that it's KD and Draymond. But outside of that, like I said, people fight in practice. People almost fight in games, teammates. You know what I mean? So it's not that big of a deal.
Were you ever in a bad locker room?
Our Clipper locker room wasn't a bad locker room, but there was a lot of tension. There was a lot of egos in that locker room. And as crazy as it sounds, I was kind of the one that would smooth everything over. I was the bridge of communication for a lot of guys because guys couldn't really talk without arguing or getting frustrated. So I've been in, I wouldn't say bad locker rooms. I've been in locker room where there was a lot of ego in locker rooms.
Like Lob City. There was Blake
there was a lot of ego in that locker room.
Yeah.
All good guys, still friends with all of them, but there was definitely a lot of ego.
Let's go to the Lakers. I went to the Lakers game last night. LeBron surpassed Wilt. You've played with the Lakers, the brand. It's a great place. When Staples is rocking, it feels bigger. It's the best. It's just great. Now, I was saying this. It was funny watching LeBron. He really, you can tell, he's trying to get everybody involved. This was last night. So the first quarter, pass. They trail by 10. Second quarter, takes it over for about a 3-minute micro burst, comes in, they cut it to like 8. And the third quarter, in the end, I think he really is trying to be different. Not as ball dominant. But ultimately, this team last night, he had to put the cape on, and then Brandon Ingram hit a 3. He felt engaged. It's a weird situation. There's the old saying, your game is your game. We're asking LeBron not to be as dominant as LeBron, aren't we? Like you watch it now, it's a little slightly less aggressive LeBron. When you watch, what do you see?
All I see is him early in the season sitting back and finding out exactly what he has. What do I have out here? We know what LeBron is going to give you. And I think in March and April, when it's time to go, he is going to be the ball-dominant LeBron that they need him to be. But at the same time, by that time, they're going to have chemistry and confidence. So he knows he's going to be able to drop the ball to Kuz. He knows that Ingram's going to be able to ISO. I love Lonzo Ball. Like his quickness, his defense. He's
you
confident.
Like him?
Love him. His confidence with his shooting, and he changes the dynamic of the game. His first step is incredible. His anticipation on defense is incredible. His ball defense is so I really like what he's doing. Unfortunately, Rondo went down. But like I said, you know what you have in Rondo too. So now you're going to be able to see Ball step up and like, okay, this is your make a choice. Last night, Mark Jackson said at some point Luke needs to make a choice between who I'm going with, let that person ride out and give him a chance to succeed.
And
I agree with that.
I think it's Lonzo.
I think Lonzo's the future of that team. I think there's no question with that. And I love Kuzma as well. I mean, they got a great young core. JaVale McGee, I'm so happy for him. He's getting a chance to really play and play well. And then picking up Tyson was an amazing free agent pickup. But I think Tyson's going to serve more dividend in the locker room, showing these kids how to be pros and how to go about their business every single day. So I really like where the Lakers are headed. But to get back to your point, LeBron is sitting back right now. He knows this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. These games don't even matter right now. Like the season doesn't start until All-Star break March. So LeBron is sitting back. Let me see what I have. Let me save my legs. Every once in a while, because I'm in L.A., I'm going to still be Superman and put on a show, and now I'm top 5. He can still do that whenever he wants.
You know what I mean?
But
like.
To me, he wants these guys that, like I said, you know what you get with him. One of the greatest players ever. So let me find out what else I have on this roster. So I like what he's doing.
Let me ask you, though. You didn't mention Brandon Ingram. He's frustrated me. He teases me. There are moments I'm like, he's got some KD, and then he doesn't. How long do you give this? How long? This is third year now. He's at 15 a game. His numbers are down. Matt, how long do you give Brandon Ingram?
I roll with Brandon Ingram a little bit. I mean, I'm going to roll with him this season, obviously, but you got to think, like, this is not a team where you're going to get – they don't need Brandon Ingram right now to score 20 because they got Kuz scoring, they got Ingram scoring, they got LeBron scoring, they got JaVale playing great. They got Josh Hart shooting the ball well. Lance can pop up and give you 25. Like, they have a lot of different options. To me, they're dangerous because any given night they have 6 or 7 guys and give you 25 or 30.
You know what's interesting? I said this. Portland's got 3 guys. That's most of their scoring.
Right.
I watched the Lakers last night.
Dangerous.
Lakers are deep.
Dangerous.
They're real. Now, we know Superman. We know LeBron's got to put the cape on. But I got to tell you, you mentioned somebody. When you watch him in person, JaVale McGee matters.
Oh, man, I love it. I love JaVale.
He is really.
But to me, not to cut you off, I'm sorry. With the Warriors, I see, because we're friends, and I see with JaVale, when you kind of would give him that cord and let him go, he would act wild. He would start shooting threes or pull up sometimes. But I think he realizes now, like, let me do what I'm really good at all the time consistently, and then, it won't be as bad when I shoot a three every once in a while. But if you're kind of in between the motions, you can't do that. But he's came here. He's reinvented himself. He lives here in the off season, so he's home all the time now, and he's really playing well.
Before we let you go, Matt, we haven't had you on since this controversy came out, the Kobe flinch ball thing. That became so ridiculous.
Crazy.
It was it took over the world for like 3 days.
Crazy, man.
So this was a legendary play. You, Kobe, sideline. And then this video came out, this sort of on top video. So for years and years, we thought Kobe was a tough guy. And then the video comes out. And the video. Now, what do you make of this?
It's nothing.
Say it.
It's nothing. Did
you put the ball in his face?
Yeah, I put the ball in his face, and he didn't flinch. You know what I mean? So to me, like, how are you just looking through film and happen to see this different view as almost 10 years later?
It's ridiculous.
But I mean, like, people think like that we weren't friends or we were enemies. Like, he recruited me to the team like a couple months after this play happened. And then just yesterday, he worked my kids out for their birthday. Like, I was surprised. Yeah, I took them out to Orange County, and he put them through a whole little Mamba session yesterday, and they absolutely loved it. So me and Kobe are cool. This was never really a big deal. Like I said, this is really how I ended up coming to the Lakers, to be honest with you. So, I mean, but it's not people to this day on post, Kobe didn't flinch. I'm like, that was 10 years. Like, what are you talking about right now? Like, okay, and you would flinch.
It's the internet, man.
Right, it's great. People talk crazy on there.
Hey, it's great seeing you again. I love when you come on.
I'm gonna be around more. We're talking about some things, so I'm gonna be around more. Yes, I'm gonna be around here more.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's great. You're always.
Hi, Joy.
Hey, Matt.
How are you?
Good.
You got your stuff. Yeah, I just had somebody of huge NBA influence. I'm not even gonna tell you who this is. I'll tell you after. I don't want to tell the audience. He said, Matt Barnes nailed it. A man of huge influence in America that knows the basketball.
I know a little bit. Know what's going on a little bit.
Okay, Matt. Good talking to you, bud.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.